Hey, welcome back to Shooter in Progress. My name is Sean. I'll be taking you through the Glock 45 today. If you're watching this video, you're probably either thinking about getting a Glock 45 or a Glock of some sort, or you've already bought a Glock 45 and now you're wondering what to do with it. Stick around. I'm going to be going over 5 things that you should know about your Glock 45 and why I myself decided to buy this as my first handgun. Before we get into why I chose the Glock 45, for those of you who haven't gone and gotten your Glock just yet, here's a couple of things I would look for when you're buying a Glock. Think about what is more important to you. Do you want a full size gun for home defense? Do you plan on carrying? Or are you mainly planning on this to be your range gun, your fun gun, where you put a bunch of aftermarket shit on it and make it look cool as hell? When you get to the store, you pick out your Glock, you're going to get one of these Glock boxes. Um, I like to keep mine around because I think they look pretty cool. One thing I didn't know when going to buy the Glock was that some of them come with an optics cutout. It's called MOS. Others don't. Obviously, the ones that don't come with the cutout will be a little bit cheaper, but that gives you the ability to get your slide milled for an optic to where it can fit very tightly in that optic cut. MOS systems, you have a plate that goes on top, and then you can mount your optic on top of that. So it doesn't sit very as tightly, I should say, in the slide, but it will still get the job done and it will still look cool at the end of the day if you plan on putting a red dot sight on it. Which is more than just cool, it's also very functional, and almost everyone who owns a handgun nowadays has a red dot sight, um, or in addition to the co-witness sights, or just a red dot sight by itself, whichever route you go down. So let's get into why I chose a Glock 45. Number one reason being the size balance. When I chose my Glock 45, the main thing I was looking to make sure is that it is compact and easily concealable. The Glock 45, if you don't already know, the slide is a Glock 19 and the frame is a full size Glock 17. The Glock 19 is really nice for concealment because it's compact, but the Glock 17 grip has a full size grip, so I can really get my hand around it and get a very stable and tight grip on it. Whereas the Glock 19 grip is a little bit shorter and more compact. If you have smaller hands, maybe that's the way to go, but if you have medium sized, larger sized hands like myself, I got more medium sized hands, the Glock 17 grip was perfect. And the Glock 19 slide, it doesn't create a huge print when you're concealing it. So that's one of the main reasons I wanted to go with something that gave me the best of both worlds. Now let's go into number two, the Glock reliability. It's one of the most reliable handguns, if not the most reliable handgun in the market. It's has it is proven to work under tough conditions with minimal issues. So dirt, sand, mud, lack of cleaning, whatever the case is, it's going to function. It's also trusted by professionals, law enforcement, military have used it for years. And if those guys can use this safely, reliably, and they're confident in their handguns, then I think I can say the same for myself. It's also got a very simple design, simple parts, fewer parts, which we can go over another video on how to take this thing apart and clean out the internals. It's also got a very consistent platform across Glock models. So if you can figure out how to use one Glock, in this case being the Glock 45, you can essentially figure out how to use any Glock that is out there. Which brings me to my third point is simplicity and ease of use. The Glock has very few parts compared to other handguns. It's easy to clean, maintain. It's easy to take apart, understand what all of the different parts of your Glock do, and also to put back together. It also has very simple controls. You have your slide stop, your mag release. You have these notches on the side to release your slide from the front, so you can get in the insides and do anything you need, like maintaining, upgrading, whatever the case is. It's also very smooth. Everything works as intended. The trigger pull is very consistent. I've already made sure this Glock is empty, so don't come at me in the comments. The fourth reason is customization and aftermarket part availability. You can customize the shit out of these things. However, if this is your everyday carry, I'd recommend not using any aftermarket parts because Glock is proven to be very reliable. Their parts are very reliable. The way they function together is reliable. So I wouldn't want to mess with that if it's my everyday carry. If this is like your second or third handgun and you don't plan on carrying this every day, go crazy. Buy the fluted barrel. Buy a new Zev slide. Buy a new Zev trigger or whatever brand you want to go with. Um, but again, if it is your everyday carry, I would keep it as reliable as possible. And by that, I mean you can add some external components to it. Like myself, I've added a Holliston red dot, I've added a Streamlight light, and I've added some grip on it, some sandpaper grip on it as well to make it a little bit more grippy. So when I'm shooting more than just one round at a time, it's my hand isn't shifting out of place. That is one downside about the grip really when it comes stock. It's not as grippy as I would like, but obviously it's not the most expensive thing to put some grip tape on it here. The fifth and final reason is because it is low cost. I think I paid about $540 for this handgun when I first bought it. It's very low cost to maintain. You can go with low cost upgrades if you want to, put a cheaper red dot sight on it or a cheaper light. There's plenty of options on Amazon. The magazines are very low cost as well. So if you don't have money to blow, I would definitely lean more towards Glock. Obviously, there are still cheaper handguns out there that are still fairly reliable, but based on everything I've mentioned before, like proven reliability, ease of use, aftermarket availability, and the simplicity of this gun, I heavily lean more towards Glock. Now, is the Glock going to be the only handgun I ever get in my entire life? Probably not. I already am looking at getting some others. However, as my everyday carry kind of gun for home defense use, I will always lean towards a Glock. The other great thing about this gun is it can take on a variety of different ammunition. Obviously, as long as it's 9mm, you can go with essentially any 9mm round that you want in here. Some recommendations for ammunition when you're using this in the range or using it as self-defense. Um, I would lean more towards the CCI Blazer brass rounds. These are 124 grain 9mm FMJ rounds. They're fairly cheap. I usually get them at Dunham's for about $12 for a pack of 50, which you will go through those pretty quickly if you're consistently going to the range. And then for home defense, I use Liberty ammunition, civil defense rounds. They're 50 grain hollow points. But again, this gun can withstand quite a wide variety of ammunition. So you can put it through the ringer. It's going to function almost every single time, and it's going to be reliable. So those are the 5 reasons why I decided to go with the Glock 45. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and hit the like button so I know that I am actually helping those out there who are learning and want to get into the firearms world and want to get their first handgun. If you have more questions or you want to see how this gun performs, go ahead and drop a comment. I already plan on taking this to the range in the next couple of days here to show you guys how it fires, what the recoil is like. I'm also going to be sighting in my new red dot sight. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you can follow along and continue learning with me. Catch you on the next one.